Negotiating is a vital skill in any industry and is particularly important in the world of business. This is especially true for those who have experience in Eastern markets, where haggling and bargaining are a common part of the buying and selling process. One common tactic used by merchants on Eastern bazaars is to start by asking for a price that is significantly higher than the actual value of the item. This allows them to make concessions later on, while still making a profit. As a buyer, you can use the same strategy to your advantage. Start by asking for more than you actually need or want, and be prepared to make concessions. This will make it appear as though you are getting a better deal when you ultimately agree to a price that is closer to the actual value. It's important to remember that negotiation is a two-way street, and both parties should be willing to compromise in order to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. It's important to be honest and transparent about your needs and expectations, and to be open to the other party's perspective. In the end, the goal should be to find a solution that satisfies both parties and allows for a successful and profitable transaction. This negotiation strategy is known as anchoring, and it is a well-established psychological principle. Anchoring refers to the tendency for people to rely heavily on the first piece of information they receive when making decisions. This can be used to one's advantage by setting an anchor point that is higher than what the other party is expecting, which can then be used to negotiate a more favorable outcome. An example of this can be seen in a study by Dan Ariely, a behavioral economist. In his study, he asked participants to write the last two digits of their Social Security number and then bid on various items in an auction. The results showed that those with higher Social Security numbers bid significantly more for the items than those with lower numbers. This demonstrates how anchoring can influence a person's perception of value and ultimately affect their decision-making. Another example of anchoring can be seen in real estate negotiation. A seller may start by asking for a price that is significantly higher than what the market value of the property is, and then make concessions as the negotiation progresses. This can make the final agreed-upon price seem more reasonable to the buyer, even if it is still higher than the market value. It's important to note that while anchoring can be an effective negotiation strategy, it can also be considered manipulative if not done ethically. It's crucial to be transparent and honest about your needs and expectations, and to be open to the other party's perspective. Additionally, it's essential to ensure that the final agreement is fair and mutually beneficial for both parties. In conclusion, negotiation is a vital skill in business, and understanding the psychological principles behind it can help you to be more effective. The strategy of anchoring is an example of how psychological principles can be used to influence perception of value and ultimately make better negotiation decisions. However, it's important to use this technique ethically, being transparent and honest about your needs and expectations, and being open to the other party's perspective. By following these guidelines, you can successfully navigate negotiations and reach mutually beneficial agreements.